glad you stopped in the middle because I didn't think he was going to stop.
All right, let's go. Hello? Well, hello out there in YouTube land. It's BJ and Joe Hondo out and about on the recumbents on a rather cloudy day. It's supposed to get quite warm eventually. It's supposed to get like 67 Fahrenheit, but I don't know because the clouds are not moving much. We took Joe's trike up to Angletech and had him give her a whole new drivetrain. She had a really old style 7-speed cassette with an old friction shifter, and so now she's got a 9-speed. I believe it's the 11x40 like I have, but we switched her from the old, from the regular bar end shifter like mine here to the new mountain bike style rapid shifter. So now all she has to do is touch it. Got a bike back. Oh, have a good one.
They really are neat.
They're a lot of fun.
That's pretty cool. He's riding an old Centurion, like your red one. But yeah, we like I said, we were up at Angletech. We got that all done, and so now she's, although it's the low end of the modern era, being a 9-speed like mine, it's still a lot more or less archaic than the old 7-speed she had. It gives her a more long throw because we replaced the cassette, the rear derailleur, and the shifting unit. So she's got a lot more drivetrain than she used to. So her 17-year-old trike has been pretty much, a while back she had old style discs on it, and they basically gave out one time on a big downhill and scared Joe to death. So we got rid of the discs and bought her new wheels with the 90mm drum brakes. So that's even better than mine, because mine are the old style. Mine's are only 70mm. And now she's got the new drivetrain, and we got her an inline e-assist system about a year ago. So it's Howdy. You may be old, but it's new and improved.
She's raring to go.
So now we came down the Sinton for a while, and then well, we went up the Sinton to get to Angletech, and then we came down the Sinton, and then now we're on the Pikes Peak Greenway, which you guys I'm sure recognize well by now if you've been watching our videos for a while. And so we're heading up to the Criterion Bike Shop, and then we'll head back towards the University Colorado Village Center, whatever it is. I always get that mixed up.
Colorado University Center.
Yeah, Colorado. No.
University Center, Colorado.
Yeah.
Another way of saying uck.
Yeah. Howdy. Howdy. Yeah. So it seems like to me, howdy, that there's a lot of people off on a, howdy? A lot of people off on a Friday. Of course, a lot of places work 310s or 312s. Crossing over a bumpy old bridge. Howdy. This is a pretty long bumpy old bridge. But yeah, we're just out for a little more ride so Joe could kind of get used to her new shifter. So she can get the, as we call it, the muscle memory to know that she has to do it differently now. But like I said, it's just use your thumb and a finger and just click, click, click. You know, it's just so simple. And it has a very unique characteristic. They call it a rapid shifter because you can, I don't know how to do it, but you can, it's supposed to be set up to where it could shift as many as 3 gears at one time. Now, Joe and I will never need that because we don't go fast enough to need that kind of instant shifting, you know. So, I mean, it's not e-assist shifting because they do have e-shifting, but that's all automatic. The computer shifts for you. You don't do anything. But to show you what kind of a problem that could bring you, we were talking to Joshia, our tech, and howdy, gentlemen. And he was telling me that he's going out to visit one of their customers tomorrow who's like over 90 years old, and he was having problems getting his trike to shift, and they pretty much figured out that basically what he did is he pushed the button, pushed the wrong button and turned off the auto shifter, and you know, it went back to manual, and he just couldn't figure out what was going on because it wasn't shifting, you know. And that's what, you know, I mean, when you're 90 plus years old, well, you know, you don't remember a lot of stuff. So the more complicated something is, the more you just, you know, kind of forget how to do stuff. You know, I'm very happy because it only came out to about half of what I originally thought it would cost to have it done. And we've been wanting to get this done to her trike forever. But the one thing it will do, not a whole lot of extra, but it would bring up the resale value of her trike because, you know, 7-speed, pretty damn archaic. They haven't, you know, I mean, even the Walmart junk bikes are 8-speed now. So 7-speed would be pretty archaic. Yeah, well, we're gonna, like I said, we're going to go up to Criterium, then we're going to take a little back route This is between the two sides of I-25, going north and going south. And then the last one is an exit entrance ramp coming on and off the highway. But it makes for an interesting kind of flow. But when we get up to Criterium, probably go ahead and turn off the video for a little while, because it's pretty ugly. And we do have a very complicated traffic light that we have to get across. It's really designed poorly, because they really should make it so everybody has to stop when a pedestrian or a cyclist is crossing with that light, because otherwise it's just, you got to really be careful, because they just want to rip out of there, and they're supposed to be looking for you, but they don't. They're only thinking about getting up to speed on the interstate ramp. So it can be a bit hairy at times. Passing on your left. Thank you. Howdy. That's a cool old Schwinn. Cool. Hello. That's that Haas. That's nice, man.
Just keep going.
No, just keep going. Those Haas's, they seem like they're almost like a limousine,
Yeah.
They're long and stretched out. And okay, I'm going to stop here and turn off the camera. Okay. All right. Well, we will get back to you. Bye for now. All right, we're back. So we stopped off and got ourselves a hot tea because it was cloudy and kind of chilly with a bit more wind, and now all of a sudden the sun is finally trying to come out. So this will give the weather people here in Colorado Springs a chance to say, oh, it was a beautiful sunny day. Because if it's sunny at all, for 5 seconds even, it's a beautiful sunny day. When actually it was a cold, gray, and fairly windy day for most of it. Yeah, so we jumped back on the Pikes Peak Greenway, heading south, and then we're picked up the T-Gap, Templeton Gap Trail, heading east, and we were gonna like go down by the Duck Pond Memorial Monument Valley Park, but we forgot that they've got that all closed off due to some construction that's closed. They had to close off part of the trail. Had to do with removing some old, not used anymore telephone poles off of that portion of the trail. And so we decided to add on a little bit since the sun finally came out and see if get a little more time in. But just want to say the usual, hey, thank you a bunch for checking out the video. And if you're new, welcome. And a big shout out to our subscribers. Again, thank you all very much for hanging in there with us. I know a lot of people that, you know, a lot of the YouTubers, and, you know, they've got, you know, great, you know, like Giomat and Sylvia Heparin and all of them, you know, they've got all kinds of fantastic places they get to go to. So that makes their site a whole lot more exciting. Plus, too, they've got drone work, which is fantastic. I would love to be able to afford a drone, but that is not in the money. Because to be honest with you, I probably should somewhere down the road pick up a little better than my poor old GoPro 6 for my mounted camera, just because it took quite a tumble a couple of months ago, because my mount, my original mount, which is a plastic mount, broke at speed. I was probably hitting 25 to 28 miles an hour going downhill. I'm amazed that all it did was put one little tiny scratch in one of the outer portions of the lens. It still works just fine. But the 6 is getting pretty old in age, you know. I mean, they're up to 13, talking about a 14. So I don't think they've actually come out with a 14 yet, but I have heard rumors. I know a lot of you like the. Can you still hear me, Joe?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I know a lot of you probably, you know, like and use the Insta cameras, you know, like the Instant 360 or whatever their top dog is. I just, I'm going to stick with the GoPros. I don't really care for that making you look like you're on a ball, you know, video screen. I mean, I kind of like what the 360 does as far as, like, if you just like hook it on your a giant selfie stick and you keep it above your trike. That's kind of cool. I like that. But yeah, when they put it into a ball and stuff, I don't know. It just doesn't do anything for me. I just like, oh great, I can't see the trail. You know, I can't see any scenery. All I see is this strange, weird looking, like you're trying to ride on the top of the planet. You know. But hey, a lot of guys like that. Especially one really good YouTuber, you know, which is Trike with Mike, Texas. You know, he really likes his Instant 360 planet view. So that's cool. To each his own. It's just like you'll notice that a lot of folks that do these videos, you know, they have the camera go one way all the time. You know, never get a different angle. It's just whatever's right in front of you. I don't like that. That's why I hard mounted one camera and have a handheld in another camera. All very thanks to a really nice Canadian gentleman that said he had this GoPro 11 Mini that's sitting in his closet and he never used it. So started talking about what he want for it, and he said, well, I'll just send it to you. So can't beat that. All right, well, I'm gonna pop it off here because this is the really ugly section. We'll get back to you.